Coming up, the quarantine times. Some kids are turning into reporters. One 10-year-old has even created his own newspaper. We'll meet him.
Ryland here, reporting for Ryland's newspaper.
Plus, twin sisters team up to help those in need of food.
Kids can change the world, just like adults.
We'll introduce you to this dynamic duo.
This is NBC Nightly News, Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. Thank you for being here. I'm still working from home here in New York. I know in some communities it's now allowed to go to the store and do some other activities outside, but I hope you're being careful and keeping your distance from other people and washing those hands. Hey, we've got some great stuff in our show today. Some kids are doing some really cool stuff. We can't wait to share their stories with you. First though, let's start with a fact, like we usually do. Did you know the CDC says it is unlikely that COVID-19 can be transmitted through food? That's really good to know since we've been hearing a lot about that these past several weeks. Now let's get to some of your questions. And joining us now as usual is Dr. John Torres. Doctor, our first question comes from California.
Hi, my name is Vedanshi and I'm from Sunnyvale, California. And my question is, can the coronavirus be in the air? Thank you.
Dr. John?
And this is a very sciencey, a fantastic question because the virus is a really small germ, and some of them are so small they can float in the air for a long time if we just breathe. And so you have to be very careful. They're almost like this powder that just goes up in the air and stays there for a really long time. Some other ones, like coronavirus, are heavier, so when we cough or sneeze, they come out, and they're kind of like confetti. Well, they just go straight to the ground fairly quickly within 3 to 5 feet. That's why that 6-foot distance is so important. So too is wearing masks to make sure we all stay safe and we don't get coronavirus.
What a great demonstration, Doctor. Our next question comes from Texas.
Hi, my name's Lilia. I'm 6 years old. I live in Prosper, Texas. Which vitamin should I take to keep away COVID-19?
What's your answer, Dr. John?
And Lilia, you want to stay as healthy as possible, and that means having all the vitamins. There's not one vitamin that's going to do much more than the other ones to keep you protected and as healthy as possible. But instead of taking vitamins, the best thing to do is simply eat a healthy diet. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, and even get outside so you can exercise when you can, because that sunshine can help keep you healthy as well. And that way, if you do get COVID-19, your body is strong and can fight it off.
Dr. John Torres, thanks very much. Always great advice. All right. Well, as we put this news report together for all of you, there are some kids around the country who are doing the same for their communities, like 10-year-old Ryland Hunt.
Ryland here, reporting for Ryland's newspaper. I've got some news about North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
He's using his spare time at home to inform and educate others. Ryland has created his own newspaper featuring news stories, comics, and puzzles, too. Ryland joins us now from Wilton, Connecticut. Ryland, great to see you. It's great to talk to another journalist. I think, like me, you discovered that people really have a lot of questions right now, and they need answers. Tell me how, first of all, how the kids in your community are keeping busy right now.
Well, a lot of my kids, the kids in my community a lot of them are baking, obviously, because a lot of people are baking now.
What kind of things do you think kids want to know about right now?
I think they definitely want to know the news. They definitely want to know information. And on the weekends, I do good information, so everyone has a lot of that. And, yeah.
I know in your online newspaper you did a story about the history of bicycles, which is a great one. The weather's warming up. You can get on a bike right now. Tell me what were some of the important things you learned about bikes that you shared with your readers.
Well, I actually learned that when bikes were first made in the early 1800s, they didn't have pedals, they didn't have chains, and you had to move your feet to move across. And then I knew a long time ago there were like bikes with a really big front wheel, but I did not know that people used to call them bone shakers because I believe the wheels were made out of wood, and it really like shook them.
Tell me what advice you have for other kids right now who are at home and looking for things to do and to be creative.
Well, I have a lot of advice about things. I have a lot of advice. You probably have a lot of old toys around your house or whatever you have, and just take it out and use it, or just use your imagination. Do whatever makes you happy.
What made you decide to create a newspaper during this time?
Well, first of all, really, I was interested in politics before and the coronavirus, and also the first week of e-learning, I had my teacher put out this e-learning possibilities thing, and one of the ideas was to make a newspaper, and I took the idea to make a real newspaper.
Ryland here, reporting for Ryland's newspaper. I've got some news about space.
One of the reasons we created our newscast is because some people are scared. They're very afraid of what's going on right now. What do you say to other kids who might be feeling really nervous and anxious right now?
That we're all going to get through this. Everyone's fine, and just don't worry.
Well, Ryland, it's great to talk to you. I think you're going to have a great career in journalism. Like I said, it's always fun to connect with other reporters. So thank you on behalf of your community for what you're doing.
You're very welcome.
All right. Finally, we want to take you to South Carolina, where two sisters are putting their hearts into helping others get food for their families. They're the dynamic duo.
Please help us feed families, support restaurants, and save jobs.
Doing what they love best.
I really like doing this because it makes my heart happy.
Twin sisters Avery and Finley Watterson are spending time between schoolwork leading a hopeful mission in their South Carolina community.
The greatest thing that's happening with this is that people are actually changing and people are actually getting better.
The girls are teaming up to help those in need get food during this pandemic through the Help for Hope program. What they do is turn kind donations into $50 gift cards for community members to use at local restaurants, feeding families and keeping eateries in business too. Avery and Finley have been writing by hand letters to family, friends, and neighbors, encouraging them to contribute to the effort. The girls have helped raise some $200,000 so far.
This really shows the good, the good is really shining through in a situation like this. I want to remember that feeling inside where it makes you so happy to help another person.
Cars have been lining up down the block to pick up the cards, with 4,000 distributed in just 3 weeks. The twins hope to double the donations in the coming months.
Kids can change the world, just like adults.
With double the love, anything is possible. Such great stuff. These girls certainly are a dynamic duo. Well, that does it for us. We hope you found this informative. We also hope we made you smile a bit. Before we go, parents, we're hoping you can send us a video or photo of your son or daughter with their mom. Whether it's something fun or a message they have for their moms for Mother's Day, email it to us at nightlynewskids@nbcuni.com, and we'll share some of those with you in our next show. We'll see you next time on Nightly News Kids Edition. Take care of yourself and each other.